Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to RMU Live. It's Thursday, November 9th. I'm Peyton Hostetler, and we have an exciting show for you today, so let's get right into it. I'm joined by veteran Corey Zedak. He's here to tell us a little bit about Veterans Day at RMU. So how are you today, Corey?
Terrific.
Awesome, so let's get right into it. What does Veterans Day mean to you, and how do you typically commemorate the day?
Veterans Day, I think it's kind of a big day, of course, being a veteran myself, but I think it's kind of a good day, I think, personally, to reconnect with veteran friends, whatever medium I can, checking on them, seeing how they're doing, just making sure there's no issues with isolation and stuff like that. It's kind of that time to kind of rejoin back with camaraderie, and also just you get to meet sometimes other veterans too. Personally, I like to go out and sample some freebies, and you get to see veterans from every different generation, and I think that's the coolest part about it. You see, the dwindling kind of World War II population, but you see Vietnam, Korea, all that stuff, and it kind of reminds me as a veteran that I'm not alone as much as I am, because the population of us is semi-dwindling. But just seeing other veterans, I think, too, it's a good time to feel like that fellowship, you could say.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm sure that sense of camaraderie is really, really special among all the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how does RMU celebrate Veterans Day, and what is done here to actively promote veterans and their accomplishments?
Okay, cool. Actually, there's the CVMF building, which I'm stationed at down by the Jefferson building. They're doing a Veterans Day brunch where they're basically opening up to the community. I think the 9/11 Air Force Base is sending some people over too, some higher-ranking people, but it's kind of a celebration of veterans, veterans that utilize the services down there, veterans of the community, some active serving people just to come down and kind of congregate with veterans from the community. But yeah, it's a catered lunch. It's happening, I believe, at 10 o'clock in the morning. Hope not gonna miss this timeline, but 10 o'clock in the morning at the UPMC Pavilion where it's being done at. So it's a pretty cool event for some of the veterans that are going to be attending that.
Cool, that's great. What made you decide to serve, and is there anything you're passionate about that encouraged you to enlist?
Okay, I grew up in a blue-collar family, you could say. I would literally say I was born on the other side of the railroad tracks because I lived on the other side of the railroad tracks when I was growing up. And I think a combination of that kind of blue-collar culture, that serving culture, where they kind of, to a certain extent, they did glorify service. That was one of the main things. And also just I reached a point in my life where I didn't quite know what I wanted to do yet. And it was a good opportunity to kind of put things on pause and collect myself. And I do have kind of, like I said, due to my family, there's patriotic underpinnings that maybe want to serve a little bit more. And just, like I said, just trying to figure myself out. It gave me some time, and it gave me those incentives too with the student loan assistance. So it felt right.
Great. Can you shed some light on the unique challenges you faced as a veteran and how your experiences differ from civilian life?
Yeah, I think transitionally, I have a really good story that's brief. But transitionally, when I was stationed in Iraq for a combat deployment, and they do this thing called R&R, which is rest and relaxation, and they give you a week or two to come back, right? And it's kind of funny because you go from being in a war zone to here in the country, and I was driving my car 5 miles per hour to the speed limit and just driving people insane, because transitionally over there, that's stuff that kept me safe. It made me feel safe. Mm-hmm. But over here, it obviously messed with me. And a lot of veterans, I think, if I were to say anything to help other veterans out, the transition's tough sometimes. And a lot of veterans, even when they get a service, transitioning back to being a civilian, and what is it to be myself now? If I'm not a soldier, what am I now? And that transition is very difficult for a lot of veterans, and they kind of fall into maybe some mental health concerns because of it. And I want to speak to any other veterans that are out there. If you're struggling with that, be like me a little bit and just have that willingness to reach out, because there's other veterans out there. There's other service members, there's other people that the VA or whatever it may be that really want to help. And I personally know what it feels like to have a rougher transition. So there are people there for you.
Awesome. How can students in RMU communities best honor and assist veterans all throughout the year?
I think, some veterans are really shy, and the irony is they don't like to be kind of pointed out. And even though some things feel really good, like, hey, stand up during the sports things and stuff like that. Veterans are kind of reclusive creatures to a certain extent. But if you know someone who's a veteran who's confiding in you, the best thing you think you can do is just maintain that friendship and just be there for them. Sometimes the year can be rather rough for veterans, especially Memorial Day. If they're veterans and combat veterans, they may have lost somebody. They may have, known somebody that just didn't do well, or maybe suicide. It could be any number of things. And it's a hard time of year. So certain times of year are harder for veterans, and just being there for them, I think, is the best thing you can do. Awesome. And if you recognize they're struggling, ask them first if they need help before you send them off to other services, because that trust thing you have with them is really important. So yeah, that's my best advice, I think.
All right, thank you for that. That's about all we have time for today, so thank you very much for joining me and discussing all of that. Coming up, we're going to be taking a look at the results of the Allegheny County election, an end to a strike, and protests erupting across the globe. There's also some upcoming events happening at RMU that you won't want to miss. So stay tuned here on RMU Live.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy. Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
It took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove.
You told me not to do drugs.
You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
Welcome back to RMU Live. Joining me now is my co-host, Jordan Warak. Jordan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Peyton. How are you?
I'm doing great as well.
Well, let's just hop right in to the PA election results. The Allegheny County voting results are in, and the race for the county chief executive Democrat, Sarah Morado, won 51% of the vote against Republican candidate Joe Rockey. And Morado is the current PA state representative, and she rose to the top against other candidates such as John Weinstein and Michael Lamb. Moving on to the county treasurer's race, Democratic candidate Erica Rochi Brusselaars won the choice to replace former county treasurer John Weinstein. Brusselaars beat GOP candidate Herb Olinger 62% to 38%. The race for district attorney was a very close one, as Stephen Zappala beat Matt Duggan 51% to 48%. All results are considered unofficial until they are certified. If you are looking for snacks, movies, games, and more, join students at Gowden Hall this Monday. The Residence Hall Association will be hosting a Turkey Day party complete with free Thanksgiving-themed snacks and much more. The event is this Monday, November 13th from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Get ready to gather around the table for a cornucopia full of gratitude and good times at the Turkey Day party. On Tuesday, November 14th, drop by the Career Center, Benjamin Russ, anytime between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for a 15-minute resume review by industry professionals to ensure your resume showcases your experience, skills, and strength. Be sure to bring a resume or be prepared to email the file to the reviewer. RSVP is not required for these events. It's open to all students.
Join Dr. Boggs, the Rooney Visiting Scholar from Germany, for an inspiring exploration into the intricacies of leadership and business norms. Infused with an academic touch on cultural management, dive into the distinctive cultural and professional variances that mold the leadership and business practices of Germany and the United States. Drawing from his personal experiences and anecdotes, Dr. Boggs will unravel the nuances of effectively navigating the global business arena. He will shed light on the hurdles and prospects that sprout from cross-cultural communication. Moreover, he will share advice on how to seamlessly communicate with colleagues and clients from diverse cultural backgrounds. A reception is to follow. This event will take place on Wednesday the 15th from noon to 1:30 p.m. in the Wheatley Atrium. On Wednesday, November 15th from 1:30 to 3 p.m., RMU Police Chief Jeff James will be presenting an active assailant survival training seminar to the RMU community. It's welcome to all RMU students, faculty, and staff. Chief James is a nationally recognized expert on the subject matter of active assailant attacks. He is privy on the best practices for surviving such attacks in educational settings and other venues. He has traveled the country presenting active assailant survival beyond run, hide, fight to schools and businesses and houses of worship. If you had to say what you are most thankful for, I'm sure your first thought would be the RMU cafeteria food. CAF's Giving is back. Join RMU faculty and staff for a holiday celebration. From 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on November the 16th, the PNC Food Court will be celebrating the holidays by providing Thanksgiving-esque meals. Feel free to give thanks to all of the cafeteria workers as they present a fantastic Robert Morris family meal. For anyone with allergies or specific preferences, the revamped Inspired Eats is sure to bring a warm and homey meal for you as well. This dinner will be a cornucopia full of food, family, and fun. Hopefully Riley has some good news for us for the weather this week. Riley, take it away.
The hourly forecast for today at 3 p.m. it is going to be partly cloudy with it being 56 degrees. At 6 p.m. it is going to clear up and be 50, and around 9 p.m. it is going to be 46. Today's forecast is a high of 62 with a low of 43, humidity being 77% and a 50% chance of precipitation. Tomorrow's forecast is a high of 51 and a low of 40 with the humidity being 72% and 0 chance of precipitation. The 5-day forecast is on Saturday is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 49 and a low of 30. Sunday being partly cloudy again with it being a high of 49 and a low of 33. Monday, it's going to be a little bit more sun out with a high of 50, a low of 35. On Tuesday, it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 55 and a low of 38. On Wednesday, a little bit more sun again with a high of 57, a low of 45. And that is, yeah.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. Jordan, I'm very glad we've got another week of nice warm temperatures before the winter weather finally sets in.
I can't wait for the winter. Coming up, we take a look at some events happening in downtown Pittsburgh, from Penguins and Steelers all the way to our famous country singer coming to town, and how police officers need your help. We also have some breaking news on some of our favorite shows expected to make a return, all right after these short few messages.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Welcome back to RMU Live. As the world continues to heal from the COVID-19 pandemic and the cold season hits, some airports are bringing back testing, not just for COVID-19, but other viruses as well. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
Families gather, temperatures dip, and health concerns rise.
Being indoors in close proximity to each other, and that is usually what kicks off respiratory virus season.
Heading into the busy holiday travel season, the CDC is expanding its infectious disease surveillance program at 4 airports to now test for more than 30 pathogens, including flu and RSV.
The key to it all is that the traveler really provides us with early critical information that can help us find things before they spread in our communities and helps public health officials determine what prevention and intervention measures will be needed.
The program began in 2021 to track COVID variants, collecting nasal swabs from volunteer travelers and analyzing wastewater from certain flights.
We hope to do the same and have the same success with early detection and filling in the gaps with other respiratory viruses.
For travelers hitting the road this holiday season, Dr. Sydney Friedman with the CDC recommends taking a few steps to help keep you and your family healthy.
Basic things like hand washing are really always good measures, not touching your face, carrying alcohol-based hand sanitizer if you're not going to be able to wash your hands.
According to data from the CDC, the rate of COVID-19 hospitalizations remains steady, while flu season is ticking up slightly throughout the country. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Thank you, Ivan. Some other best practices that are supported by the CDC to prevent the spread of viruses is wearing a mask and getting vaccinated. You can schedule a vaccine at your local CVS or Rite Aid. The city of Pittsburgh is planning to clear a homeless encampment located on 1st Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh. The decision to shut down the camp was made due to reports of theft, sexual violence, and drug activity, which put the residents at risk. Many in the area, including local businesses and owners, and Mayor Ed Gainey's communications director, expressed concerns about the safety and well-being of those living in the encampment. Local organizations, such as the Light of Life Rescue Mission, are trying to assist the homeless individuals by providing options like hot meals, temporary shelter, and longer-term housing for those ready to transition. The Pennsylvania State Police have discovered the body of a woman in Westmoreland County. She has been identified, however, her identity is currently being withheld. Barry Howe, a nearby neighbor, was shocked by the discovery. Quote, "My wife is a total basket case because she's worried she's not safe," end quote. The police are actively investigating the case and have spent time draining the pond. Anyone with information that could assist in the investigation is urged to contact Officer Evan Tarrick. The community is eager to find answers and bring closure to this unsettling situation.
Jordan Rippengale is facing charges after assaulting a McDonald's employee over an incorrectly made iced coffee order. On October 31st, Rippengale used the drive-thru and, upon reading the wrong order, entered the restaurant and unleashed an onslaught of obscenities in front of staff and customers, including children trying to rectify the order. An employee provided Rippengale with a new coffee and then asked him not to return due to his behavior. Ignoring the request, Rippengale physically attacked the employee, throwing him to the ground and striking him in the face. Some people shouldn't go out before getting their morning coffee. You know who else needs their morning coffee to perform well? Athletes. Jaden, take it away.
Thanks, guys. It was a busy week in RMU sports with the men's hockey team defeating Simon Fraser with the final score of 3-1. Freshman Cameron Garvery struck first, putting the Colonials on the board. The Colonials allowed a goal shorthanded, but after fighting back, Gavin Goulash sealed the deal with a game-winning goal off of Cade Townend and Luke Johnson. Women's hockey overcame Syracuse for both games with final scores of 4-2 and 3-2. Leading the shorthanded group, Janelle Evans blocked 4 shots and goaltender Emma Gorski blocked 5 shots across the 2 power plays. Next, we have men's basketball. They competed against Xavier in Cincinnati, Ohio for their first game of the season. The team fell to Xavier with the final score of 77-63. Moving into women's basketball, they took on St. Francis Monday and overcame them with the final score of 61-50. Next up, we have the football team, and they took on Southwest Missouri last Saturday. The Colonials came out with the win and a final score of 21-20. The men's soccer team faced Cleveland State on Wednesday, where they took the victory with a final score of 1-0. On the other hand, the women's soccer team went against Milwaukee but fell short with the final score of 5-0. It was a good past week for the Pittsburgh sports. The Penguins took down the San Jose Sharks last Saturday with a score of 10-2. Jake Gensel scored 2 goals, giving the Pittsburgh fans half off Jake's Shakes at the Milkshake Factory. Tuesday night, the Penguins defeated the Anaheim Ducks with the final score of 2-0. The Steelers took down the Tennessee Titans on Thursday Night Football at Acrisure Stadium with the score of 20-16. Kenny Pickett was 19 for 30 with 160 yards. Matt Canada coached this game on the sidelines, leading the Steelers to a victory. He is expected to make an appearance on the sidelines again when the Steelers face the Green Bay Packers on Sunday at 1 p.m. That's all I have for sports. I'll send it back over to the desk.
You know, after seeing how the Steelers offense performed with Matt Canada on the sideline, I'm very excited to see how the team performs going forward in next week in Green Bay. But,
absolutely.
NFL star who was the movie Blindside was inspired by Michael Orr, has reportedly been paid $138,000 by his alleged adopted family, the Toonies. This comes after, in April, Orr accused the Toonies of cheating him out of profits of the movie and not paying him anything at all. The financial accounting, which has been ordered by Shelby County Probate Court judge, said that Sean and Leanne Tooney paid $138,311 to Orr in 10 separate installments between June of 2007 and April of 2023. The payments represent Orr's share of the profits made from the movie and the book that preceded it, according to a statement accompanying the accounting document filed by the Toonies' lawyers.
As of 12:01 this morning, the actor strike has finally ended. This means that many of our favorite shows will be coming back, but when will they? John Lornick has the details.
The 118-day soap opera in Hollywood appears to be getting ready to exit stage left.
It's a seminal deal, and it's just an amazing time for our union. It really is.
The SAG-AFTRA strike ended at 12:01 Thursday morning, according to union officials, who said in a statement the tentative agreement will, quote, enable SAG-AFTRA members from every category to build sustainable careers.
There's a lot of improvements on wage negotiations. One of the things that actors have been pushing for is to ensure that they are going to get paid out on streaming residuals.
The actors walked off the set July 14th with numerous complaints toward the Hollywood brass, including the use of artificial intelligence.
That has been the big sticking point for actors over the past few weeks. They wanted to ensure that protections for their actors were built into the contract.
Although some are already celebrating the end of the strike, a typical Hollywood happy ending isn't secured yet. The tentative deal still needs to be ratified before it becomes official. But assuming the pact gets the green light,
I would expect production to resume for your favorite films and series in January, and things that were pushed into the first quarter of 2024, those things might still air, but we're looking at a lot of things returning in the second quarter of the year.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Thank you, John. Jordan, I'm very excited to see that a lot of our favorite Netflix shows are finally coming back. So what are you excited to see?
For me, I'm mostly excited to see the last season of Stranger Things Season 5. I'm also excited to see Season 4 of Outer Banks.
Awesome. Yeah, those have been long awaited.
Yeah, they really have. Well, moving from movies to and television to music, get ready, country music fans. Kenny Chesney is returning to Pittsburgh next year. The superstar will be bringing his 2024 tour, Sun Goes Down, to Acrisure Stadium. It all goes down on Saturday, June 1st at 5 p.m. Chesney will be joined by the Zac Brown Band, Megan Maroney, and Uncle Kracker. Tickets will be on sale beginning November 17th at 10 a.m. Last time Chesney was in Pittsburgh, the city sanitation department had to clear 48 tons of garbage from the tailgate party. Pittsburgh really knows how to set the world on fire when the sun goes down. Coming up, A war between Hamas and Israel continues to intensify as protests erupt across the globe in a call for a ceasefire. In other news, an explosion is being reported out of Texas, all right after this.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure
love.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back to RMU Live. It has officially been 1 month since Hamas and Israel have gone to war. Over that time, families have been ripped apart and forced to deal with loved ones no longer being around. Gustavo Caldes has a story on how the impact has been felt between Hamas and Israel.
A moment of silence marks a month since Hamas brutally killed at least 1,400 people and took an estimated 240 hostages.
Dying slowly, painfully alone in Gaza. No one deserves it.
Adva Adar is talking about her grandmother, 85-year-old Jaffa Adar, who was taken by Hamas. Her cousin Tamir Adar was also taken from a kibbutz near the border with Gaza.
He's a father of 2 young children.
Adar is part of a group of relatives of hostages who, from a plaza in Tel Aviv, are making sure people don't forget.
I need to have hope. I need to have a reason to wake up in the morning and to believe they will come back home.
The site is now a shrine for the hostages, with different artistic representations for those who are not here, sitting next to their relatives, missing the laughter of their children, and making clear that for them, the release of the hostages weighs more than anything else in the world.
She's out there, and they are out there. Every minute is so long.
Leah Yanir says her sister Stella Moran was selling her jewelry at the Nova Festival, from where she was taken. She and her brother Leon say that while their family will always advocate for peace, they want to know that everything is being done to have their sister back.
What I know is that I'm trying to make, that I'm demanding our government to do whatever she can to bring them back, by all means, to take action, to make a negotiation, to do something.
With the world being overwhelmed by the horrific pictures from Gaza, they are aware that public opinion around the world might not be in their favor because of the rise in civilian death toll.
You know, being here and saying, yeah, we should free the Gazan civilians from Hamas, I know it's true. I know it's true. I believe it.
Iran Margalit has friends who were killed and taken hostage by Hamas and feels that something radical needs to be done to prevent a future attack.
We need to end this Hamas thing. You know, when ISIS went all over Europe, no one stays silent.
Adva Adar wants her grandmother back. Like everyone here, she's not ready to give up.
They have to know that we fought for them.
We let them go once, we will not let them go again.
Gustavo Valdez, CNN,
Tel Aviv.
Thank you to Gustavo. We will continue to follow this developing story.
Thank you all for tuning in to RMU Live. I'm Peyton Hostetler with Jordan Worak. Have a great week.